is about women's rights. This is about women's empowerment. This is about women's leadership. This is about relationships. And this is about responsibility. Because it's important for us to locate the feminization of HIV within the context of women's human rights. And that would echo with the reference group on HIV's main statement on taking a human rights approach. But we are saying this is about the right to life, the right to information, the right to make decisions, the right to health, the right to education. So the issue is about human rights. And for us, it's also about women's human rights. Where is the money? Where is the money? Where the money is available, is it quality money? Is it sufficient? Where it is available and sufficient, is it accessible? Where it is accessible, to who is it accessible? Is it accessible to community networks and women's groups? So we need to have a strong message around resourcing.
Tomorrow there will be 3 panels, both of the community level, national level and global level, and I think we must think about to have clear message of 3 levels of synergy of the response, taking Anastasia's point of view also, and also it's important the result of the hearings, civil society, will be a report of the President of the General Assembly, and that will be also an income for the declaration, and for that it might be very political strategic in how tomorrow we manage the presence of women, girls, and all our 5 points. I think will be very good to take in point.
As we speak about women, there is that category of women that has been left out in the anti-HIV/AIDS struggle, and those are women with disabilities. The women who are deaf, the women who are blind, the women who are physically disabled, and those other women out there who for one reason or another cannot even get messages on HIV/AIDS. They come from Uganda. The driving factors are majorly 4. There is poverty, there is lack of information to HIV/AIDS, there is illiteracy, and at the ground top of most of it all, there is powerlessness. So if you're talking about all the women out there, like my sister said from Zimbabwe about accessibility, how does a deaf woman, how does a blind woman, how does a woman without property and who is powerless prevent herself from getting HIV/AIDS?
I think the issue of accountability and responsibility is on the side of our government. We know that 80% of care work on HIV is done at the household, and it's the woman. And the communication should reaffirm that we are partners, and we've been providing leadership, we've been providing a lot of services, and so we need recognition and we need resource allocation in response to our contribution to the response. Thank you.
I feel like we should be calling for mandated, making governments agree to women's participation at all levels of those structures. And at the same time, we need to be calling, especially to the donor governments, for money invested in women's organizing, because we can't get the information to women. They can't push to be involved in those spaces unless they have money to be organized. So we have to get beyond, needing money for this issue, this issue, this issue, but really invest in women's organizing so that women can raise their own issues, whatever they are in their own communities, affected and impacted women. So I hope that that's something that we can really make a strong voice on.
Lo que a mí me gustaría agregar es que ojalá se puedan incluir para las mujeres espacios seguros en donde ellas puedan desarrollar su liderazgo, porque si eso no sucede, cada vez se les va a ir excluyendo más, excluyendo más.
She just wants to make sure that we understand that we need to create safe environments for women to create or promote their leadership.
Este es y será un espacio muy pero muy importante para exponer y expresar lo que en nuestras comunidades vivimos día a día, donde el sistema de prevención no llega por parte de las autoridades responsables, donde niñas de 11 años, 11, 12, 13 años resultan embarazadas, violadas y también infectadas con el VIH. En este contexto, la vida de las niñas y de las mujeres no son ni será jamás negociables. Este espacio será como de hacer abogacía, de hacer incidencia política, de alzar nuestra voz, para que esto tenga un cambio sustantivo en nuestras comunidades. Y esto lo vamos a lograr desde la sociedad civil, porque las autoridades que están tras el escritorio regularmente no ven estos problemas que vivimos en nuestras comunidades.
Sexual and reproductive health is very fundamental in its own way and in its own approach towards prevention of new infections, in the sense that we need women and girls comprehensively educated on their sexuality, one, and also the services that can be able to be offered to these girls or to the women, both living with HIV and even the ones who are not infected. You find that most of the women, while they attend the HIV treatment programs all over, that is when they would get the opportunity then to maybe get screened for other conditions, like the HPV, for instance. And like in my country, the highest number of women actually, whether living or with or without HIV, the highest deaths between the 15 and 49 ages is actually cervical cancer. You know, so when we talk about sexual and reproductive health, then it actually again becomes a human right in terms of women and girls.
We do have to focus on medicines and commodities increasingly, and we also have to focus on the resource base for existing commodities and medicines and potential new game-changing commodities and new HIV prevention technologies, particularly those that are going to be women-initiated and put the power of HIV prevention in women's hands. And again, I want to echo what someone else said, you know, we cannot let the financial crisis be used as a means to say HIV prevention and global programming for gender and AIDS issues is now deprioritized in the face of many other pressing issues.
I wanted to sort of give an idea for a strategy and a message around the rhetoric that is saying that we need to figure out how to better use money that we get because there's not more money coming. And even if we got a lot more money throughout, women have not really gotten their share of resources around HIV and AIDS. So we need to sort of remind that when we hear that message. DC 2012 is coming up. It's the first time it's in the US in I don't know how many years, I think since '91, because people living with HIV could not get into the US. But typically there's a group of, a vulnerable group that is the focus of the conference. For Vienna, it was injection drug using. For Mexico, it was MSM. For Toronto, it was women. And I'm not clear as to what it's going to be for DC 2012. I hear there's a push for young MSM, and we would like to see it to include young people and to include women. If we have to strategically, say it's got to be women instead, but we want it to be inclusive of women.
Need to close now. We've run a tiny bit over, but I think it's been a great start to what's going to be not only a busy couple of days, but a busy couple of months ahead of us. And it's great to see that there's so many people here willing to jointly push for these issues.
Thank you, everyone. I'd like to give special thanks to Claudia Humada, who was responsible for organizing this meeting to the Global Coalition of Women and AIDS. Thank you, Claudia. And thank you, Tyler, for the huge work that you have done with our colleagues to prepare these very important documents. Please make sure that you are taking copies and you talk to your missions in the next few days. Okay? Thank you very much.